enjoyed the walkthrough on our Valentine box, and we are going to just get started. I already did some pre-scoring because I did not want to ruin anything. But I'm going to give you the sizes and we'll go with the scoring. So you need 2 pieces of cardstock that are 11 3/4 by 11 1/4. So we have 2 11 3/4 by 11 1/4. Then you have a 10 5/8 by 9 1/8 for the lid. 10 5/8 by 9 1/8. Then we have an 11 5/8 by 10 1/8. So again, that is 11 5/8 by 10 1/8. Then you're going to want to cut some chipboard pieces. And these chipboard pieces, when you cut them, you want to cut them just a hair short of these measurements, each one, just a hair short. 5.5 by 8, 2. 4 by 8, 2. And 5.5 by 4. These measurements are also down below here on YouTube in the box. Oh, scoring. Let's get busy scoring. So I'm going to start with my 11.5 by, 11 5/8 by 10 1/8. This is the box this is the base, like our little tree base that the box sits in. We're going to score it 1/2 inch and 3 inches. I'm going to turn it to the 10 1/8 inch side, and we're going to score it 1/2 and 3. And we're going to score again on the 11 5/8 inch side at 1/2 and 3. So we can set that one aside. My next piece is our box lid, and it is 10 5/8. Get my measurements here, by 9 1/8. We're going to score all 4 sides the same. We're scoring at 1/2, 2.5, 1/2, 2 1/2, 1/2, 2.5, 1/2, 2.5. We're going to score our 11 3/4 by 1 1/4 inch piece, both the same. And we are going to score at 4 and 9.5. We're going to turn to the 11 1/4 inch side and score at 3 1/4. And we're going to repeat the exact same measurements. 11 3/4 inch side, we're going to score at 4, 9 1/2. Turn to the 11 1/4 inch side and score at 3 1/4. Okay. We're going to start with these 2 pieces that we scored identical. And let's go ahead and fold up our score lines. These are what create the box. If you made the baby gift box, we're making it the same, but it's much larger. So there's just a couple of things different. Now, what we're going to do, and you can use your knife, I'm just using a blade. I'm going to cut straight down on this 4-inch side where we scored, and then I'm going to angle it. I'm finding that using the blade is just so much better for me and on my hands. Just use your scissors. So we're going to cut this square out. Keep this one square. Now, these become the bottom, and I'm actually going to go ahead and angle these. Let's repeat. Oh, and one thing to consider. So I've done my score lines this way. You'll notice this side is shorter. You're going to have a 4-inch side on a short side. So it'll come together like that. So we want to kind of do the same. So check your scoring. You may have to score either one way or the other. So, hey, Wilbur. He hears me talking on video, so he comes down. Do you think I'm talking to you? He does. Okay. Let's go ahead and get rid of our excess that we don't need. Now he's going to whine. He wants me to pick him up. No, Wilbur. The thing, too, with this bottom, don't worry about being exact. Don't worry about it looking perfect. It's going to be sitting in the box, and we're going to be gluing it down. So, and I mentioned keep the square, and then I realized this is the only piece to keep square right there. And then that's what that's going to look like. Kind of funny, huh? Let's go ahead and make our box. So here's where your chipboard is going to come into play. This is what strengthens your box. And this also saves you from having to wrap chipboard or make construction strips. Now see, laying it in here, mine's too big, but I knew that was possible because you never know. Sometimes your scoring tool or just your paper that you're using. So I'm going to put this in the cutter, just right in the groove. And we're removing just a tiny bit. We want it to fit inside the groove. Oh goodness, he brought his dish down and he's going to start throwing it. Okay. So my length is good. You just want to check your side to side because you want it to not be in the way of your score lines. But our paper, so I chose this pink, the pink one with the distressed wood from the Romance collection, and it's 5. You're going to cut 5 3/8 by 7, oops, and 7/8. Wilbur, because you want it to sit on top of there and basically be flush or a little bit bigger than your chipboard. So I'm going to trim just a hair more off of this. And I mean just a hair. And we're going to do that with each one. We're just going to fit each one because we want it to, there we go, sit inside of our score lines. I've got about 1/16 of an inch on each side. You can use your wet adhesive. Hold on. Go upstairs with it. The food dish was upside down. He does this for attention. But he will take it back up, hopefully. You should have space at the top and space at the bottom. Now I can go ahead and put my matting on top. (5 3/8 by 7 7/8 is the size for your matting. Now you want 2 for the inside and 2 for the outside. So you need 4 total of this size. Because you want the inside of your box to be lined. It just looks nicer. I need that glue. Now, once you get your cardstock down, then I take my tool and my fabulous bone folder. I don't know what I did with it. I lose more tools just by touching them. My gray one is the best one I have. So we'll just use this guy, my EK Tools. I just push it basically over that edge of my chipboard. See, and it just kind of rounds itself over. That's why you like it to be just a hair bigger than the chipboard. That is my real old one, but I don't know how my tools disappear. Drives me crazy. We're going to grab this one and my piece of chipboard. My length looks pretty good, sort of. Let me take just a little bit of that off. That's what I like about the lightweight chipboard. And it's fabulous because it's heavy enough to do its job, but it's not too heavy that it's bulky. And these type of projects are hard to work with. And it really has a nice overall color, unlike, you know, your regular chipboard. Okay. I'm not looking for that, you know, side-to-side fit. I just want it inside my score lines, about a 1/16 of an inch on each side. This is such a great project for your home, you know, grandkids, kids, teachers to sit on their desk. How cute is this? When the kids are going around giving their Valentines, then your little one can have treats in that little front treat box area that they, you know, let their friends take from when they're putting their invitations, but their cute little Valentines in the box. And the same size again. It's the 5 3/8 by 7 7/8. Remember, you need 4 of those. 2 for the inside, 2 for the outside. So pretty, that pink barnwood. I can see little girls' projects made with this. Well, not little girls, but like your preteens, little girls. How cute. Folios. This paper's not just for Valentine's because of these beautiful prints. Authentique did a great job. Okay. When we go to put this together, let me show you. This is how things will be. We're actually going to bring our sides to the outside. So we are going to be able to do this one and our other 4-inch one, which I figured that out after the baby one. you know, it takes a little bit of time to fine tune our projects. So my length needs to come off, and so does my width on this one. So you can cut both of them. I know it's going to need it for both. Ooh, ow. Three and 7/8 by 7 and 7/8 is my next piece. I have already inked these. I used the Prima Sepia. You can use Vintage Photo, pink, red, black, any color you want with this paper. But I did all my inking pre-tutorial. Hopefully we can save some time. I know my tutorials are long, but that's just me. But I thought I'd be a little more prepared. And I was so excited when I finally got this all figured out. Now, this side will have chipboard, but we're going to have to do it after. Oh, wait, no. Never mind. I need to stop talking here because I moved these to the outside. We're going to do this side. Yeah, I changed my construction a little bit, realizing there was a better way to do it, and then I forgot. Okay. I did the resizing from the baby box, so I might have to get quiet from it when I stop to think. I'm still here, but if that happens, that's why. Still fresh in my mind, the resizing. And it was funny. I was resizing it. My son called. He says, Mom, I'm having trouble with the girls' homework there in junior high. He says, but you're the math guru of the family. And I thought, oh no, you don't need me to help you figure something out, because I had just finished these measurements, and they took me most of the day, but we got through it. Again, 3 and 7/8 by 7 and 7/8 is my matting. This is going to be so cute sitting on my entranceway. I'm going to make one for my mom and probably my daughter, because when she sees it, and then the grandkids are going to, it's just really cute. Okay, so one thing, this is what we need to consider. So this is going to go together, and then this is going to go together to make our box. We can't mat this outside like we usually do. We're going to have to mat it on, but we can do the front and we can do the back. And because we don't put any more chipboard, you'll just be using the normal cardstock. And I am using, there's their number, they're not named, that's what I'm not telling you. So it's 5 3/8 by 7 7/8. Pretty cute, huh? Yeah, this one's for me. I did cut my side pieces though. They were the 3 7/8 by 7 7/8 because you need those two for the outside after we put things together. And this goes together pretty quick. It's all your pre-cutting and pre-cutting, and then it's your inking of your pages that just take a little time. So pretty. I love this romance paper. Okay, first thing we're going to do, now we're going to fold everything and we're going to reburnish it because we've added chipboard and we've added our cardstock. And so we need to burnish it again because you want a nice square tight box. I don't like it when they're not. So you need to do all the pieces because we need to get it over that chipboard. And you'll just notice your box will go together so much nicer. And see how that doesn't want to lay over there now? But now it's going to. If you're using the artisan, don't worry about burnishing because the artisan isn't going to cross break. See that? It's beautiful. Let's do it with our second piece. Turn it over and do the front side also. Both sides there. Okay, now four-inch, smaller side, 4-inch under here because what we're going to do, we're going to lay this down. Pretty much whatever is easiest for you. You're going to butt it. It's going to be butt right into that score line. And you'll feel it won't go any further. Okay. See that? So we can go ahead on this piece. Now this is also adding extra thickness, which also gives your box extra strength. So let's put it right up by that score line. Let's fold it up, make sure everything is perfectly straight at the top and at the side, and make sure you can fold it like a book. Turn it over. And just get another burnish inside. Now it should fold a little. Going to fold a little tight there. I'm going to burnish it again. And here, I'm going to now go ahead and mat my 3 7/8 by 7 7/8 of an inch piece on the side. I hope you're loving how easy this is. And if you're new to my tutorials, I know sometimes I get confusing, and I'm sorry. I try not to. I really try to stay on point. But I try to make things to show you they are easy to make. Sometimes things are made, oh, that should have gone over here. Notice that. They're made harder than they should be, I think. but that's just how I see things. We all see tutorials different. We all interpret them different. So I hope this is showing you how easy a project like this can be. And I should have, would have done, right? Now the only one that we'll have to do is, there we go, this side. Now I want to show you something. If it's not coming together nicely, to make it come together nicely, and just reburnish, and you're going to push hard. I'm pushing hard. There you go. And it even moved a little bit more, so now it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Now I'm just going to fold this back. I'm going to add my adhesive, and you can see with them butted up, score lines are great, top is great, sides are okay. That's a little bit on the bottom. Just take a little of that off. Glue. There we go. And you should be feeling how sturdy your box is. Okay, let's add our second piece of cardstock. 3 7/8 by 7 7/8. If you're using glue, go around the outside. You know, remember those peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? If you just kind of seal the peanut butter, then the jelly doesn't run out. That's how it is with your chipboard. I mean, with your glue on your project. Now see how nice and square your box will come out to be, because we took the time to really burnish those edges. And that's where a lot of it is, that your box doesn't come out straight. Upside down. These two will sit inside of each other. A couple of different ways. You don't have to do it this way. I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm going to add my adhesive. Now with art glitter glue, it dries pretty fast. I'm going to sit our 5.5 by 4 chipboard there, and I'm just adding my adhesive. Yes, I'm very close to the camera, and I'm sorry. Okay. Turn it over. Grab something long. Here, even if it's this, let me show you. Grab your water bottle. If you can't quite get your hand down in there. Excuse me. Turn this over. Repeat. Now, if you're not going to put this into the base, you would go ahead and definitely mat the bottom. I am not matting the outside bottom because we're attaching this. That's where our 5 3/8 by 3 7/8 matting piece is going to sit down inside. I'm first going to check the fit. Looks great. Come on. There we go. Once you're happy with the fit, and down it goes. Then you can get your hand in there a little bit and move it around, but it should be really, it should be perfect. Can you see a lot of other uses for this? I certainly can. I like to make things like this, and this is actually, I'm going to make another one because I use this for my desktop garbage can. This was a project we did, and I need one this size. This is great because you can just keep it on your desk instead of reaching underneath for the garbage. And if you have a beagle like Wilbur, he gets into your garbage, so it's great to have this on top. That's our box. Let's keep going. This is so fun when we're making something that is used. I love making usable items. Okay, this piece where we scored 3 sides is our base. And again, we have chipboard pieces because, and I'm going to have to cut these down. We're going to put them here along the top. Looks like I'm missing something. I am. I just need to cut. I'll need to cut this piece, but that's okay. We will get these all cut. And I'll give you those measurements. Let's go ahead and fold up our score lines first. Now I have two of my EK Success bone folders, the gray ones. And this is, there it is. There we go. This tool is the best tool. Oh, much better. Okay, open those 1/2 inch right there. Let's go ahead and score. And then our big pieces. And if you use your chipboard, cardstock, and push against it, and not like this, I have found it keeps a straighter score line because of the weight of the paper. So our chipboard, we're going to cut it at 5.5 by 7. And I could have swore I had one cut, and I must have used it for something else, not thinking. So what we're going to do here, we're going to start with the top where there's no score line. And we want to miter those corners on both sides. Then we are going to come over here. We only need this little flap here. We're going to miter right there on the side. Cut straight up for now. I'm going to go in at an angle. This becomes our tab. And then cut just to the right of that score line, and let's get rid of that bump. Okay. I'm going to miter this corner. And I'm going to just cut that off. Now, I'm going to miter right there. Going in at an angle right there. Let's just go at an angle here, because what we're going to do is remove this whole thing. This is our tab, so we don't need those, but let's go ahead and cut straight up. Then we can miter these. Don't worry about perfection. These are not going to be seen. They're hidden. No worries. Those little pieces, if you use glue, they always get into mine. So I need to cut that chipboard. And I'm going to cut it, like I said, a little short of 5.5 for me by 7. I'm going to do it on my big cutter. Oh, did I put, oh, I did put it, what I did is I put that piece back. Okay. Then I can cut the smaller ones from my small cutter. Let's check our sizing. Side to side again. Pretty good. I'm thinking that's okay. Just make sure everything will fold. Okay, and I have about a 1/16 of an inch here. Same as our box. Now for my matting pieces. How is that? I put everything so nice and neat and it's gone. It was my, there we go. It was hiding. So I'm going to use the brick piece. Oh, that's too small. I want this for the outside. So I need to recut mine. I'm going to recut mine at 5.5 by 7 exactly from the romance. Oh, I should have more brick. There we go. I have to use my big cutter. I want to make sure it's straight. Okay, 5.5 by 7 is great. You'll see your box will sit right on top. Just need to ink my edges. And bring the sponge. Perfect fit, much better. And I'm just pushing those edges over. Now on our sides, I believe these are going to be 2.5. They are. 2.5, the same thing, 7. Just short of 7. So I need to cut these down. And again, I'm cutting it to start just short of the 2. No, we're going to go ahead and just take this to 2 3/8. Okay, so we need to do 2 of those. Okay, 2 3/8 by 6 7/8 is what mine came out to be. So let me cut this one down to 2 3/8 and I'll give you the measurements. I have 2 3/8. Right now it's at 5.5. I feel it's too long, so I'm going to take a little bit off. Whoops. So these are 2 3/8. This one is just a hair short of 5.5, and these are 7. Now, so you can see where your 1/2 inch is going to come on. This is going to cover that beautifully. It's going to look so nice. And then our tabs, so we won't, you know, of course, do it there until we get our tabs, but it will cover it. It'll look nice, and we won't have to have a raw edge because it's kind of like the very front of our project. So again, center that so you have a little room at the top and a little room at the bottom. Again, really cute for your desk at work too. Neighbors, or if you know anybody, you know, take one to the nursing home. Our elderly, everybody, you know, I know kids are important, they're fun, but we have some elderly in our nursing home that just really, this stuff brightens their day. So if you have one by you, just deliver it to the nurse's station and let them know it's for, you know, the patients to enjoy. We have a couple of new ones being built. It kind of is a sign of our times. We're getting older. It's like, quit building nursing homes. Are you telling me something? No, we're getting quite a few out here, but scary, but you know how it goes when we get older. Okay. I'm going to do the scoring thing. And I'm going to mat the back. So the back side is going to be the stripes, even though you don't see it. You still want the back to look nice. And then we're going to have feet on here. So, and I'm going to show you how I made them for the baby one using buttons. They turn out really cute. And you haven't had to invest in feet because they can be expensive. And it's usually something you already have in your home. Okay, now let's go ahead. We're going to fold this over and we're going to mat the back and the front. Just add your adhesive. Okay, this is the only one we can't mat yet. So I can go ahead and mat my sides. And again, I'll have to recut all of these. They're just too short. So we'll save this for another project. So I'm going to cut my mats at 2 3/8. And they are going to be 7 inches. So I need 2 of these. Sorry, I'm not inking over here because this sponge is already a mess everywhere. I don't want it on my paper or work surface. Now the nice thing too, you can push it down a little bit so that you do get it to cover that edge. And see how much nicer that is to have that finished edge instead of chipboard showing. Okay, I'm going to mat now this other side. So one thing you want to be sure of is if you have a directional. I don't know what I was cutting for. If you have a directional, you want to make sure it's going the right directions. But I have to cut my sides because I don't know how to cut. And I want my stripes to go that way. So I need to cut my 7 this way. And we have to, well, go ahead and cut 3 of them that are 2 3/8 because we'll cut the length here for the front. And we're going to cut it. So right now, I'm going to cut 5 1/2. I'm going to see how well it fits. And it fits great. Ink up my edges. This you don't see. Remember, that's our bottom. And we can do the front because we only need to put our tabs to the inside. Okay, before we put our box together, let's do one last set of burnishing. So our tray is now really bulked up. And let's do everything. Turn it over. Really does make a difference. And then for this, I'm going to use some clothespins. Add your adhesive. Now when you bring this around, because you want it to be perfect on your sides, you may have to move your box up or down, but push. Make that paper move to where you want it to be. I need to flip that to this side, because you want it to be nice and even. And if your paper doesn't want to go, you make it go. Push that. Maybe it's a little too short. You got to move. It's hard to show on camera, I know, but you can move, you really can move that paper to where you want it to go. Let that just sit for a moment. And did I not cut an inside piece? Yes. How do you lose pieces and parts? Because I know I cut this. Once again, 2 3/8 for the inside, that little piece there. By 5 1/2. Now, you can, let's go ahead and fold that over, but burnish it first. Hey, Wilbur. He's like, Mom, it's bedtime. It's like, I can't. I got to make this cool box. Just a minute, Wilbur. Yeah, he's trying to take my shoe off. He's like, I want to go to bed. Go to bed. Go to bed. Hi. Are you going to cry? You are? Just a minute. Hey, Mom's on a roll. It's okay. Oh, yeah. And if you're new to our channel, Wilbur's our little beagle. He's like our mascot. He's fun. So, I know, funky looking. You're like, what am I going to do with this? Well, you're going to grab your box. And it's going to be, it might be a little snug, but it should be like perfect, because I did this so many times. But it should fit like perfect. Now, here's the deal. We need to, Wilbur, no. We need to now adhere this down. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add my adhesive all to here. Okay. Now I'm going to turn my box upside down just for a second. I'm going to hold my finger where my box ends. And you kind of have to work quick if you're using art glitter glue. And you can kind of eyeball the sides. Just get some adhesive in there. Don't worry, because if you've got art glitter glue, you've got the tip, and it really helps. Now, the back of your box needs to be flush with the back of this. Okay, so also put it down and just push. See how it's going to be flush? And I'm going to turn on the side. One hand is on here on the inside, helping that. We're going to just push for a minute. We're going to push in the bottom, and I'm just making a fist and pushing it down, because you should have room, or get somebody really super strong. See, and it's going to be flush in the back. Art glitter glue dries super fast. Now can you see how strong your box is? Making sure everything's down, because if it's not, just take your glue, stick it down in there. And also you can use the edge here of your scoreboard. I'm just using my hand, pushing down and rubbing it over the edge to help burnish that down. You can do it with the sides. Didn't know your scoreboard had so many uses, did you? It does. Great. Now, how cute is this? You can leave this open like so also. Well, get down. And you don't even have to put a lid, but we need a lid. I'm going to show you a little bit of a prototype of the lid so it'll make sense. Here it is. This is like when I was figuring this out. And this isn't the right side, but we're going to have a flap here. It's going to be magnetized. So this is where you're going to want that magnet. Or you can bring it around the front, but we're going to have, excuse me, we're going to have a flap. So it keeps our little mailbox hole closed. But before we do that, we have to make this hole. And you have a cutter, or if you have a die, that's great. You can use it. I like to teach it without the die. The reason is, if you don't have that kind of equipment, or cutting it on your Cricut and SVG file, it can be frustrating. Now, you don't even have to put a hole in it if you don't want to. That was going to be the original, just like the box. But I thought, my husband kept saying there really should be a hole just to drop Valentines in, and Valentines are about 3 inches wide if you buy them in the store. So this hole is made to accommodate that. So it's going to be about 5 inches long. So it's made for those little store Valentines. Okay. Before we do any of our cutting, let's just work on the center. So the first thing you're going to want to do is add your pieces of chipboard. Mine is 5 1/2. Again, it's just a hair short. And it's about 4 15/16, or just a hair short of 4. And what we're going to do is we're going to add it to the back side here. So I reached my limit, so it's going to start over. Okay, we're going to cut a hole in just a moment. So using the ruler, here's the thing. We're just going to go 4 inches. So set your ruler, center it. This is a little bigger than 4, just a tiny bit, but just measure about 4. So we want a whole measurement. So we want a 2-inch mark, just a 2-inch pencil mark. Then from side to side, I'm just going 5 1/2, setting my ruler where it's 5 1/2. So 2 3/4 is our center. So we have the center, and then we need to just, we know where our center is. So now I can make, sorry, at 2 inches, because we want 2 inches. Two inches is the width, so I'm just going 2 inches from the edge of my chipboard, or well, from the score line, about. Whoops. And I'm just drawing a line. Here's my center at 2 3/4. And I don't want you to get worried or frustrated on this because it's really easy. See that center line? Now we just want to cut a 1/4 inch on each side. So I'm going to use my ruler. And this is a cool ruler, your quilting ruler, because those pink lines, if you've never used one, it's so easy to read. Let me show you. You can pick these up at Joann's on sale, and they are such a fun, easy ruler to read. It's just super easy. And easy to see, and they never, like, the writing doesn't really wear off. So my 1/4 inch is, I'm going to set here. So you want a 1/4 inch from that center line. I'm going to draw a line. And that's 1/4 inch from my center line. And I'm going to repeat for my other side. So I have a center line, and then this is a 1/4 inch on both sides. And I just need this really quick. And then I put my 1/2 inch. Let me show you. Here's your score line. I'm using this score line as my measurement. I'm not using the edge of my chipboard, but my score line. So from the score line, I'm just going to mark it a 1/2 inch. Looks like a music treble when we were writing music in school. So now, 1/2 inch from this score line is where I want to stop. Now, if you want to go from the score line, it's 3/8 of an inch. Okay, you guys, you ready? Now, the secret to doing this is not to try and cut it all in one swipe. Now, I'm going to start with the center. For me, that's simpler. I'll show you. Stop at that score line. Remember, we're starting at these and score lines. And, oh, I only had to go through twice. Okay. Use your ruler for a guide if you're more comfortable. Now, where we marked that 3/8 or 1/2, we need to cut into that. Now I need my ruler. So I'm going to start it right there, and I'm looking to see where I need to end it. For me, where I'm placing my ruler, I'll just put it here. So I need to stop just a hair after 5. Remember your markings. Do not try to do it all in one cut. You may have to go through 3 times. I did. Remember, if you're not happy with doing this, you can definitely have a family member. Whoops. Or don't even do a hole. It's okay if you don't. Now, if it doesn't want to come out, there we go. If it doesn't want to come out, don't make it. You'll tear your paper. Just get your blade in there. There we go. Well, we're going to wrap that anyway. Okay, I'll show you. So I'm going to put it on the back first. And we're going to cut the hole. So my matting is over here. You see it right on the inside. So my mat is 4 inches whole by 5 5/8. And again, measure yours. We're going to want this to dry. So we're going to let this dry for a moment while we do something. And you need a large magnet. And I'm going to go by this for the length, only because it's pretty even. I want to tell you where we're going to put our magnets. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to kind of find the center, which is about 2.5. And I just marked it at 1. So this is also going to be the front. And I'm going to use large ones. You don't have to do the step either. Again, you can just leave it open. These were magnets we cut for the kits, and I needed to use them, and it's like, oh, there we go. Basic gray really packs them in there. Oh no, those are 2 pluses. And 2 are the same. Sure are. Okay. Have it. I'm just going to put this down. Like that, so it's not my way. Okay, This backside piece, all we need to do is cut it out. Oh, no, don't want to pull it. Don't want any messy ends. But we are going to cover this. You'll see. Okay, there's that hole. Now I'm going to clean that up there. We want it to be pretty flush. Don't worry about it looking super, super good yet. So now I'm going to put one on the top that's also going to cover our magnet. And it is 4 inches, same thing. Mine came out to be on this one 5 and 5/8, so I need to take a little bit off. Needs to be more 5.5. There we go. Now the trick here, you just kind of want to leave some glue off of there, the center. Like leave a space there in the center. Now, the thing is, we're going to be able to wrap this on these edges. It's just the end we're not going to be able to wrap. But you can piece that. So I'm just cutting this down the center. It's not super straight. Not worried. See what you're wanting to do. Now, you just kind of want to, I don't want to do this backwards. Hold on, I'm just contemplating here. So I'm going to cut straight across. I'm going to try something, and it's 1/4 of an inch on each end. What's going to happen is I have enough to push in there. We have enough to push in here. Okay, so see, I cut across here. It just left that little bit, about a little more than 1/8 on each end. You'll see better in a second. And, you know, well, no, we couldn't. We needed to do this first. And say we should have, and we could have met. No, you can't do that, actually. Because you still have to cut, and you wouldn't. I'd rather have this on the inside anyway. Because you don't see it as much. Whoops. All right, now our ends. Be gentle. Just push those in. You may, yeah. See, mine, I could hear it kind of tear on the corners. That's all right because it just tore enough to fit it on the inside. Your art glue or your adhesive, put it on the bottom there by the chipboard and the edge of the other paper. Turn this over where it might edge. There we go. And this one's going to be a little harder, a little messier. That's okay. Because it looks great on this side. And that's what we're going for. Now, you can definitely, if you don't like that, you definitely can cut some more paper and remat again on the inside. You would just put a strip there. You can put a strip there if that bothers you, but personally, no one will see the inside. Okay. And it looks super on the outside, so I'm extremely happy. Right, let's go ahead. We're going to remove the same pieces and parts we did when we were making the base there. You're going to make that at an angle. Cut straight up. I'm going to angle it right there. That off. I'm just going to bring this up to match. Do the same, the opposite side. Now I want to tell you, if you accidentally do it a different way, it's not going to matter. Your box lid is still going to go together, except for when you cut this off. You don't want to cut that off like I just did. Oops. I shouldn't have cut it right here. No, I shouldn't have cut it right here. So I'm going to save this. Because I've done this. I am not remaking my lid. Oh no. Oh no. We are going to save our lid. Yes, we are. My score tape down. And that's going to be just fine. I'm going to put it at the back. But it's reinforced and it's fine. So, I bet if I don't talk, let me cut this off. There we go. Okay. So that is pretty much saved. And you can see it just looks like the cardstock had cracked. So you can also put another piece on the outside here if that bothers you, but it's going to be really, it's fine. Structurally, it's just fine. And so I'll just put that in the back. I might even just put a little ribbon around my lid to hide that. All right, let's pay attention here. So straight up here, cut this off. And all I wanted to do was cut off this little tab and angle this I ended up cutting the whole tab. But hey, I think that was a good save. Yes, I do. Go ahead and angle that to get rid of that. You'll see the bump from the score line. You do want to get rid of those. So it'll lay nice and flat. Okay. Move. Move. Remove. Okay. Chipboard pieces. Gonna have to cut mine down to 1 7/8, which is fine. So you want two that are 1 7/8 by 5 5/8, and our front piece is 1 7/8 by 3 7/8. And I'm going to cut them to 1 7/8 of an inch. Oh, don't want to lose my pen. Oh, we need two that are 2 7/8. Let me get it. My second. Oh, I do have a second one. I think, or do I not? I do. Okay, these tabs are coming in, so we can mat here. We can mat all of the outside. And then go around your corners here. If you didn't angle those on the 1/2 inch, go ahead and angle those. So my inside is red, and my pieces are 1 7/8 by 5 1/2, and I have two of those. And then I have two pieces, and then actually you need 4 altogether. You need the inside and then the outside, and they're all the same size. 1 7/8 by 4 for the 2 short ends. Now we're going to go ahead and mat the inside long end. And I'll use the rose trellis for the outside. And same technique over our chipboard. These are smaller, so I'm just going to hurry and put them both down, and then I'll burnish them. Now the outside, we can do all 4 of them. Again, if you're using directional, check your direction before you add your adhesive so that it's going to go all the same way when these fold under. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with our box lid as we did with our box. Okay, now let's do this side. Now we can, oh, I forgot about putting that over first. Oh, you guys, I'm so sorry. But you know, it's okay. We're going to double mat there. Oops. Okay. When I edit the video, of course, you'll already see it. I will make sure, oops, that I did mention that. So, oh, might help if I put glue on it. So, hopefully you didn't follow through and you read my notes. And let me get, so if you're at this video, I can't edit that out, but that's okay. You've now seen another way to fix things. And it's just called double matting. And that's the nice thing. The only ones that will know is you on camera. One 7/8. How much did we say? Oops. 5 5/8. Only need to have one strip. Actually, it's a really easy fix. There we go. No one but me, you, and the camera knows. Clothespins. Okay. same way that we did the other part, the tray. So we'll call that the tray. Again, push it where it needs to go. Okay, mostly, yeah, get in that corner. Just fold that back. Oh man, that was way up. There we go. Got it. Let's go ahead and mount the inside. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, wow. What am I doing here? Let me make sure. No, make sure you do have that edge mitered in enough that it's going to lay nice. There we go. I don't know why I'm forgetting that all of a sudden. Now I can put the mat on top. Now, your magnet, yeah, magnet's going to be in the front for me. And your lid will go straight on. Now, at this point, you may not even want that little flap. It's not, you don't have to have it, but I'm going to go ahead and make it, and I will. What are you doing, Wilbur? Definitely, you know, it'll be lined and covered, and it'll look nice. So 4 inches, and it's going to attach here and go right to the edge. So it's going to be 2 inches. So we're going to do 2.5 inches, and I'm just going side to side. So I'm going to cut it a hair short of 5.5. Well, maybe I will go, but you know what? I'm going to leave mine at 4. I'm not going to cut it down, so I'm leaving it right at 4. I'm going to score it 1/2 inch. And I'm going to trim it from there. I want to show you. You do have this 1/2 inch that is going to show, so we're going to do, we're going to use decorative paper on it. So I'll do a decorative like scallop. So you'll just decide where it's going to sit. And one thing we have to do is put the magnet. Because we have to mount this. Now you can also, the other one, I set it right to the edge. Then I realized if we set it right to the edge, that's great, but we can't really cover these edges. So if I set it back, then I can do a cute little ruffle with a scallop punch or something like that. So I'm going to leave it square. One thing I want to do is then just set my piece on the box, bring it down, and let it grab the magnet, and off it comes. So we have a piece now that's 3.5. I'm going to cut 3.5 by 5 1/4, my pattern paper. One thing I want to see, was this? Nope. Was one of these, so I didn't have to waste it. And you're going to want to. So it's 3.5, but it's, hold on. Hold that thought. 3 3/8. And I'm doing it the same color as the lid, and 5 1/4. Okay, 5 1/4. Okay, around that magnet is where I'm going to make sure my paper's down. Let's burnish that down again. Grab your box. Now just lay it there and let the magnet take hold. And at this point, that's where it's going to land. So I'm just going to leave it there. Lift up, add my adhesive on that 1/2 inch flap. Now, get that straight. Like I said, you can bypass this step, but I thought it'd be cute to have that opening. Cute little cut apart's going to go here. Yeah. And then here, all we have to do is, we can use lace. And I want to show you though what is going to look really good with it. See this? And I just need to find a piece. Oh, here it is. It's going the correct way. See this lace piece? So we cut our flap to short of 5 1/2. Perfect. So now I can decide what to use, and I'm going to use the lace piece. And definitely you can just leave it, or you can also hand cut that out. But looking here, it's not going to quite cover it, but we're going to give it a try. So let's get the scissors, and you can also just use a punch if you want to just do a scallop punch. I'm just going to fussy cut around it. Ink it, and down her she goes. And I probably should have cut it from a bigger piece, but that's okay. Oh, it's fine. Sorry, I'm not sure. I'm going to go with the row of hearts. Sit right there by the score line. Covers that hinge. Oh, I need a new pen. Definitely got stuck on the paper. Save that for something else for sure. Oops. Oh yeah. Or we'll use it on the inside. Definitely, definitely. Don't ever throw away those things. Okay. And now also you can put a little tab there, which will do with our ribbon. And now we get to move on to the decorating. Okay, off camera, I went ahead and added my knob, and it's actually still drying. And it's not so much that it's going to be super usable, but it's pretty. And I should have put it down just a little bit more. I don't know what I was thinking. I used the memory hardware pulls, and I do believe they're still in stock, and we are getting more. Excuse me. But I just used my glossy accents. Like I said, it will work. I just don't want to pull yet because it's not super dry. And why I put it up so high is, oh, there we go, beyond me. Should have put it down just a little bit. That's okay. Loving my box. Even went and got all the candy for it. So let's continue. So we're at the decorating part. And what I have decided to do is I'm going to do the Love Always here, and then I pulled some flowers. And I pulled some enamel dots. These crystals are the Spring Farmhouse by Prima. Thought how pretty. I'll use the pink and the gray. And I did grab the Prima flowers that go with the Spring Farmhouse line. And even, I think even the plaid will go, but I'm going to use the pink, the gray, the more neutral colors. So before we put these on, oh, and then I pulled You Stole My Heart. And I had debates of covering that, but I'm going to go ahead and put You Stole My Heart on the front. You can do decorations on the side also. with your 3x4 cards. So you can really decorate this up. And then one thing I did notice last night after everything dried, so you might have a little corner or so that's poking up, and you just need to stick your glue in there, and I'll do that at the very, very end. Before we add these to the box, I did cut the chipboard, the lightweight chipboard scraps, and I'm going to wrap them. They're 2 1/8 by 4 1/8 and 3 1/8 by 4 1/8 for the cards because I want them to pop out. And I want to wrap these with the black chipboard just like we would if it was an album. And you should have plenty of scraps. They don't have to be anything perfect. I do think I want something just a little chunkier there. I don't think I have it, so we'll just use this one. This just gives some more dimension. We'll cover the back. And it makes your card last longer, so it doesn't get all beat up. And you only need a 1/2 inch, whatever your preference. I'm just going to cut that off. Don't really need much at all. Not even worried that it's straight. Go ahead and bend that right over that chipboard. Because I'm going to cover the back, you want to make sure that's dry. And then this gives us a little background to make our cards pop. Once you have gone on all 4 sides, then you're going to notice there's these squares. I'm just going to cut them out just like when you wrap your mini albums. Just like so. Okay, now we can add our art glue. I'm just going on all 4 sides of the chipboard. Then I'll just do this long side first, smaller section, so it's not like a mini album. I can just throw my cardstock on there. I mean my art glitter glue, and no worries. And we'll add more. And this was an older piece, and I had scored it, and so I just need to get rid of that little score line there. That original one that I scored wrong. Okay. Now, it is 3 by 4. Well, it's 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. So what I'm going to do is cut a 3 by 4 piece, just a hair bigger. I want to cover the back of it. You can also use another cut apart, but you really won't see it. Oh, wait a minute. On this one, oh, you know what? This one isn't going on the front, but that's okay. You didn't have to put that piece on the back. No harm done. It's actually going on the box, so we wouldn't have seen that. That's okay. I think the edges of my card let's that dry for just a minute. And let's do the same thing with this little guy. That's too small. Whoops. Put the knife away so I don't cut myself. And I just, okay, there we go. Lost my ink cover, but we got it. Okay, now I'm going to open it. I'm cutting them at a slight angle, but I'm just cutting that square box out. Again, right up on that chipboard. Now we'll want to cut a 2 by 4 inch piece. It doesn't matter if you want to use a pattern. Ooh, somebody is fighting. I'll be right back. Okay, what I did here is I went ahead, broke up the little fight over a bone, and this is a 2 by 4. And I went ahead, I'm going to go with a pattern piece. Like I said, you can use your black. It's going to stick up just a hair, I think. I'll have to put it back on there. You're not really going to see it, but that way what you see is a little bit of a finished area. If anybody picks up, looks from behind, you know they're going to. And ink. Now I'm getting all on ink here. Let me dab this. The cardstock from that corner. And I have foam dots. And I'm going to lay this down, but so it is, see, it's going to stick out just a little bit back there. Or you can decide if you want it just flat. Oh, that's cute too. So I'm going to angle this. So that's where my first dot needs to be, because I won't have any right there. Whoops. And, you know, the adhesive on these pop dots, your stickers, whoops, they're just not made to last as long as you want your project to last. So I just use my art glue. All right. And then this one. Now you need to have it down so the box isn't the lid. And if you're going to put it on pop dots, you don't want the lid to get in the way, of course. And I'm using probably more than I need, but that's okay. That go the opposite direction. It comes open, and I'm going to be honest, I'm so tempted. Let me get these out. And we do sell these at countrycraftcreations.com. They're really easy to use. You have to cut them, but oh, I'm thinking I just may do that. Let those sit for a moment. Also, the Prima flowers, they put this really pretty, like rice paper here. So, I'm just going to set these out. You have to sometimes re-glue some of the leaves. And I definitely like the gray and that pink. So what I was thinking on these, definitely right there. I do just use my art glue when it's just a paper flower like this. And let's go gray. Add a little bling. This one's a little more glittery, I think. So I took off another little gray one, and I'll take a pink one. You know what? Sorry, I just got a very important message. Just a minute. It's Ginger from my sister Scrapper. And okay, just letting her know. Because she'll be, you know, teaching at our Utah retreat in March. don't want that to fall off. That's why I'm holding it for just a minute. Going to take the lid off. Gotta do it. And it really doesn't take that long. Let me show you these work. Like I said, we have them in stock. One thing, when you get them, they can be boogers. So you need to see the direction that they're going in. I'm going to cut that one. And then you just cut them into strips. Now, once again, what I do is add my glue. Because you don't want to trust the adhesive. I'm just going to add a line of my art glue. Actually, we're just going to go ahead and wrap this. So that works great. Straighten those up. Yeah, this had to have the pearls. Okay. And I know we have these big sheets in stock in the warehouse because I just went and checked on them this morning to make sure. Okay. Remove our backing. They do have that, you can't see it, but there is a clear, oops, there is a clear backing and it stays. Some people like it, some don't. I don't, it doesn't bother me because you don't really see it. They are easy to use, even if you're clumsy like me. And get my glue there on the corner. Uh-oh, have I got an ornery one that doesn't want to peel? I did check my direction. Oh, I got glue on there. It's like using the film. There we go. Oh, no. Okay, that does happen sometimes. The reason I'm doing it this way, I want to make sure I've got the film there so I can grab a hold of it next time. Okay. Whoops. So we're not going to overlap there. but we're going to go around the top. Right there. And let's see. I'm going to try and cut this longer way. Done. Now I'm going to start right here. And, excuse me, I also now have that tab at the top that will make it easier, hopefully, to peel that back. And this is more, you know, the shabby chic look, but you can definitely use a more fun, playful Valentine's paper for the kids. Whoops. Or the papers that aren't quite so feminine, like that one, and then the hearts. There's some black and white hearts. So I did count the papers, but you got to remember I made mistakes. So this will help you too. So if you make mistakes, I used, including the cut aparts, 10 sheets. Of the pattern cardstock. But like I said, that's only because of the mistakes I made. So you really can't do this in one collection pack. I would get the paper pad only because you need, well, you could. I take that back. Well, these and your side pieces, that's the problem. These are 4, that makes 8, and this is 10. So you really do need, you do have to have 2 sheets of what you cut for the big part of the box. Whoops, because it is so big, nice and big. Okay. So let's make a really pretty bow. Let's add a flower. And I think, let's try some pink. Or maybe, ooh, no, let's don't. I'm really loving the seam binding color we have. No, that's the baby blue. We don't want baby blue. We want the silver gray. Oh, I actually don't have any. I thought I did. So let's go with baby pink. Try 2 different colors of the seam binding. I think I'm going to go light. So if you have a bow maker or this little thing, and this little thing I just got on Amazon. And it was like $7. You can use the forks or your, you know, if you've got a more professional bow maker. to make your bow, and you can use your fingers. I use my fingers sometimes. So I did it with 3 on each side. And our seam binding that we sell at Country Craft Creations, you can also wad it and make it very shabby chic. I didn't this time. So, you know, I think I'm going to work on the lid down here. Makes it easier also for you to see. And of course, it goes just a little shorter. The bow for sure, I'm going to have to go through my stash and find some small flowers because we're going to need smaller flowers. Let's go ahead and put this on, and tell you what, I'm going to let that dry so you can go back through the walkthrough just to see the decorating of the little flowers that I used. Clean up those ends. Then you can definitely do more decorating here, especially with your flowers. You can just go all out with your little box here. But let's move to the fun part of this. So I went to the store and grabbed the milk and white Linder balls because they were pink. Gotta have pink. And I want to show you the little boy. So you can definitely use the cut apart. This was one of our little, you can definitely use a cut apart that would extend up if you want in the front. And it will also protect the candy more from hands, but I wanted it more open because I thought these were so pretty. They've got to be seen. They just have to be seen. Oh, let me show you. So that's going right there, but down a little bit so that it does not get in the way of the lid. Okay, let that dry for a minute. And this is what I do also to let you know. I've got, if you don't have these, go get them. They're at Michael's and Hobby Lobby, not Hobby Lobby, Michael's and Joann's. They're the best thing. Then you just go ahead and cut apart all of your things that you're going to use. And I've been using a lot of this. And these are from the die cut sheet. And so I want to put, I'm going to put Together Forever. I'm really liking the pink on this. And first thing I do, I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to score it. Not score it, but just like you do ribbon. Then just halfway to get that center. And then we need to do the ends the opposite direction so that You can add here your glue, and then you can have some dimension to that. So go ahead, whoops, head, and add our adhesive just to one end for seconds. Let that dry. Then so you can kind of move it with your fingers to bring it up a little bit more. You can even add some adhesive in the center, which I'm going to do. There we go. So it's not going to get damaged. I'll be honest with you, just the little bow is cute. And there we have our Valentine's box. All ready to decorate your home, your office, your teacher at school. Valentines, let me show you, are going to fit nicely down through the hole. We'll even get a big one. So this is the 4x6 card to fit down inside of there. Pretty cool. I love it. I'm really excited on how it turned out, and I can't wait to see you make one and finish it. And if you are on Facebook, show us at Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations. We'd love to see your finished project. And also don't forget to join me, and you can check out my blog at countrycraftcreationsblogspot.com to also see more of our projects and what goes on over at Country Craft Creations. Thank you, everybody. And oh, it's been fun, and I'm so happy and with the turnout. I need to start eating the candy so it stops falling out. Bye-bye, everybody.